Hey YouTube, it's Melanie. Spooky season is upon us.
What are you doing with your hands?
And today we are going to be knitting our very own Halloween decoration. So exciting! First up, we're going to start with a ghosty mohair garland. For this project, I'm using a leftover skein of mohair, and I'm using 3.75mm needles, which I think is a 5 in US sizing. And we're going to start with casting on 25 stitches. Then we are going to knit in garter stitch, so there's no purling, just knitting on both sides of your work, and we're going to keep knitting until we have a square. You can use bigger needles, smaller needles, cast on more stitches. You can hold the mohair double, although I am very drawn to the sort of ethereal nature of using mohair in a single thread. When you've finished, your square should look something like this. I'm going to make a garland out of 7 ghosts, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and I need to weave in the ends first. Doing these kinds of crafts at home always makes me think about my mum. She was a very crafty person. We did a lot of crafts in our house when I was a kid, whether it was like painting our faces or making clothes out of crepe paper, or doing embroidery, or knitting, or crochet, or painting, drawing, making things out of cardboard. She was always very creative. There's one year that I had to get dressed up for school, and my mum had decided that I could be a robot, and I was okay with that. And so she made this whole costume. It was like cardboard boxes with tin foil wrapped in it, and you know those like sort of like tubes that you would use for like venting a dryer or something like that. She'd use those to make arms and legs and things. It looked really cool looking back. But apparently in the evening before going to school, I had decided I didn't want to be a robot, and I started crying. And apparently, I don't know what, I think if it was me and it was my child, I would just be like, too bad you're a robot, it's the evening, what are we going to do, you know, good luck, have fun. But my mum, I don't know if she felt guilty or something, but she spent the rest of the evening sewing up a fairy godmother outfit, and it was very like quickly made. She had used one of my polo shirts, added a skirt, added was like a collar, and I think she added puff sleeves as well to the polo shirt, and she'd used some of the aluminum foil that was the robot's body to make a wand. Looking back, I feel so bad for her, like sewing up a whole outfit in like the evening while I was sleeping, because I didn't want to be a robot. Like looking back, I now definitely would have preferred being a robot to a fairy godmother, but you know, kids. For the next step, I'm going to use some polyfill. So this is our little ghosty to be, and this is going to be its head. I'm just going to smush it into a little ball size, flip it over, and now I kind of squeeze this together. I'm going to stitch on the inside. I'm going to just go up through his head. So cute. Now you could make a face on this, maybe like some eyes, maybe like a little blush, maybe small mouth, if that's what you want. I'm going to leave these just like this because I think they look prettiest like this. I'm going to crochet some purple yarn so that I can make a garland out of this. Very simple. Crochet is not my preferred fiber hobby. I would say I'm really just not very good at crochet, but as you can see probably, but it is so much faster than doing an I-cord. So this is what we're doing. How long do I want this to be? I'm going to make it a little bit longer, and then I'm going to thread the ghosties. Oh gosh, what's happening here? Thread the ghosties on it and then see what it looks like. I don't want them to be too close to each other. The next project is going to be a really big fluffy pumpkin, and it's going to be knitted, and I'm going to use very big needles, and this is like a really like teddy bear fluffy yarn in an orange color. I'm going to knit this in the round. I'm going to start with 12 stitches. I want to start knitting on this end, so I'm just going to scooch this over all the way to the other side, and I'm just gonna make sure that I can grab the working yarn. Yarn like this is very difficult to knit because you basically cannot see what you're doing. So if this is the first time you're using, actually if this is the first time you're knitting, I wouldn't use anything like this. If this is the first time using this type of yarn but you are used to knitting, then this is a great project because it's low stakes, it's just a pumpkin, it's not a garment or anything. So first round we're just gonna knit the stitches. And then the next round we're going to do very quick increases. I would usually grab the bottom of a stitch to make it a double stitch, but that's going to be impossible in this because you cannot see. So what I do in that case, I'll just knit in the front, knit in the back of the stitch, and that's how we can make an increase. So knit in the front. Ooh, I can't. In the back, After a round of increases, you're going to do a round of no increases and then another round of increases, and you're going to continue like that for a little bit. After a couple of rounds, your pumpkin will kind of look like this, and from this point we're doing no more increases, so we're just going to knit up to make it into a ball shape. So this is the finished pumpkin. If you find that you don't have different sections because of the way that you increased or decreased, you can always wrap some extra string around the pumpkin and sort of pull it in. But I find for this one it doesn't really matter because it already has that sectioned off pumpkin shape. Next step is to add a stem for the pumpkin. And for that I'm using this color. And I'm just going to make a very small I-cord. To make an I-cord with just needles, you need 2 DPNs, and I'm just going to cast on 4 stitches. To do this, you're just going to knit 1 row, and then you don't turn your work. You just slide them to the other side, pull the tail, and continue knitting. Pull the tail, slide. So we've finished our I-cord and we're going to cut off the yarn and then move all the stitches to your needle, pull through, make a little knot. It's so cute. It's very small. You could make a bigger stem if you cast on more stitches for your I-cord, but I actually quite like this one. You can use many different types of yarn to make pumpkins. You can use this like a fuzzy type yarn, you can use mohair, you can use regular sock yarn, speckled yarn, regular worsted weight. Everything that you can think of will just give like a different effect of your pumpkin, but they always look cute. I like using orange colors, but you can use different colors, either pumpkin colors like green and yellow, or if you have like a special theme for your decorations, obviously you can just use whatever you have on hand.